John Jasny, Kevin Burns.
And I'm Max.
Max. Got it.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I thought I saw someone get ready to speak, so I was like, no, stop.
I did, and then I lost my train of thought. It's super embarrassing in this particular.
No, that's okay. Here, so how did you like filming this?
Oh man, first of all, let me say I love you, Jessica Jones.
Oh, thank you so much.
And it was a huge honor to film it. Having the support of all these original fans and having the support of the original cast was a huge honor, and it was more fun than it was. That I didn't feel like it was a job or anything. It was just me going to play pretend with a giant robot and amazing people.
How cool is that?
It was really fun.
You got a great job there.
Is there anything you didn't like? Like, was there like sitting in the makeup chair, getting like anything that was just like, I don't.
I mean, we filmed in some pretty grueling locations, and I loved it.
Yeah.
We filmed in rainforests where they didn't see the light of day, where there was no sun, for 8 months out of the year. But I loved it anyways because I was around such great people, and the crew was so great. The camera crew even let me set up some of the shots in the 10th episode.
Really?
Yeah, and so some of the shots you'll see, like one or two of them I ended up getting to set up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was really fun getting to film it. Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge that you faced while you were working?
The biggest challenge that I faced, that's a hard one. Probably the biggest challenge that I faced was acting off of the green screen. It got progressively easier and easier towards the end, but in the beginning I was completely overwhelmed. After the first day, like, it was all green screen. There was no Jupiter sinking under the ice. It was just a pool. And so I called Parker. She plays Dr. Smith, and she gave me some great advice. Imagine what is not there and have fun playing pretend. So then it just reminded me, I play pretend with my sister at home all the time. We pretend to be wizards. We pretend to be space explorers. So it wasn't, so after she gave me that, it kind of changed everything.
Any other advice that anyone else from the cast or crew was able to give you that kind of helped you out?
So much. Even some of the unspoken advice, like just acting with them, was such a huge honor because they were such great actors. I learned so much from them. I had a lot of scenes with Toby, and he's a legend. He acting with some of the emotional scenes with him. Watching him act made me cry anyways. So it was so acting with all of them was great.
So I have to wonder, as a kid, or just what it was like working with Parker Posey.
Parker was the best.
How does this vision?
We hit it off at the table read. She would bring her little dog, miniature poodle Gracie, to set, and we would always, like, whenever we had free time, we would walk around, go to craft services, and after like a long day of filming, when we were tired, and we would always go to this restaurant in her neighborhood, and we knew the waiter there, so we were like regulars at this restaurant, and we would hang out, laugh, discuss like issues that we were like tired, or like, you know. But I was never tired. I loved it the whole time.
Well, you're still young, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be sitting there like, okay, it's like 5 o'clock, you need a nap.
What just for everyone, what would you like to see happen? Fingers crossed the show will continue to seem like it's getting a lot of positive buzz. What would you like to see in season 2? What would you like to see more of or do more of?
we're kind of already talking about it.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't heard anything about season 2
I
yet.
know where you're going.
I haven't heard anything, but one of my ideas that I would like is like to meet the people who created the robot. That's what I would like to see. Maybe get to meet them or something. I don't know, but I haven't heard any ideas about season 2. But I'm visiting the writers' room on Wednesday, so who knows?
all right. Well, I'll give you my number. You call me back.
Yep.
It's not picked up yet. It's
Not
just
picked up.
that it's just that this has been such a wonderful experience for everybody, including Netflix.
Yeah.
That they said, you know, and also we don't want you to be on Medicare for season 2. That they want to get ready, because if it gets picked up, they want to get it into production. Because it takes a long time. I mean, the Netflix model is very unusual. You have to do all the episodes, dub them in 28 languages or more, and then deliver them all before they will run them. So it's not like the regular television model where you deliver and you're airing as you're delivering. You know, that it takes months to write the script, months to shoot it, months to post it. Then you have to deal with all the effects, and then you have to get them all done. And so it took about 1.5 years. You guys started shooting
In January
a year ago, last January.
of 2017.
And so that's how long it took to get this out.
Yeah, it took till
And
January.
it took us a year before that to develop the script.
And filming it took about 7 months. So we were filming from January to June, and we extended. We were only supposed to film from like January to April, and we kept on extending because, you know, there were reshoots and everything. So it was definitely a journey.
And that process of like creating in a vacuum, how does that affect the process versus like maybe being able to adjust, you know, as episodes are being released on a traditional format?
Well, you know, what's been extraordinary for John and I about this, because it kind of started with John and I. We've been trying to make this happen for over 20 years. We've been business partners and friends. We met at 20th Century Fox. And through a lot of things, events, we got friendly with Irwin Allen's widow, who entrusted us with all of her husband's properties, including Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and Time Tunnel and Land of the Giants. But the dream was lost in space. And so when the rights came back to Sheila Allen and then to us, we wanted to do it, but they had just done a remake. So you kind of have to wait until the time is right again. And so when the time was right, and John and I found the right place and the right situation to kind of develop it, we brought in Matt Burke, we brought in Neil Marshall, we brought in Zach. And but it was really developed out of a place of, we know what not to do, we know what has been done, now let's take it forward. But I will say that once we had that pitch that we went out with, and we went to 10 different places with it, 4 of them really, really wanted it. The most obviously was Netflix. It never changed, meaning that what you see in episode 1 is what we envisioned for episode 1, which is extraordinary. It wasn't compromised, it wasn't tinkered with, nobody said don't do this, do this. And we got a dream cast. I mean, you'd like to think that there was drama, but it was like literally when we would see Treasure Parker, Dr. Smith, because John and I had wanted Dr. Smith to be a woman. And why? Because we were very close to Jonathan Harris. I knew him very well. I had him in my ear telling me, if they ain't got me, they got nothing. And Kevin, I love you, but it will fail because I am Dr. Smith, and no one else can be Dr. Smith, and that's why that Gary Oldman movie died. And you know, and so we said, okay, we won't invite that comparison. What we'll do is we'll cast somebody who will bring to it everything Jonathan brought to it, but from a totally different perspective without having all that baggage.
Yeah.
And she does. So Max so perfectly realizes it. And so as John and I have worked with the original cast and kind of shepherded all the restoration of the original episodes, I mean, we of course love the original, but we knew this one needed to be contemporized in a way that our dream came true. I mean, I don't think there's an episode we've watched that I'm not crying. You know, this is like I remember watching the show when I was his age, and now I get the same thrill watching it as I did when I was his age.
But you get to watch the show you thought you were watching then.
Yeah, because you watch it now and you go, oh, it looked a lot better when I was 10.
Yeah.
But now it looks as good as I remembered when I was 10.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. And season 2. Keep our fingers crossed.